people now are going to have to make similar choices to be a little bit more brave and bold. But you were doing it when it wasn't cool. Why? And talk about that.
By speaking just about fashion, we were ignoring the range of interests that were central to them, the issues that mattered to them in the world, and so we made sure that we were creating more of an intersectional feminist focus, and that included fashion and pop culture, but that also spoke to intersectional feminism and social justice issues, Black Lives Matter. You're right that there was no model for success for that at the time. There were a lot of people that were like, oh, Teen Vogue? Talking about politics? Justice issues? And we got pushback. Folks thought it wasn't our place to go. But the reality is that young people have been at the forefront of social justice issues for generations. It was certainly, I won't say scary, but there was an uncertainty about how it would pan out, but we knew that we had to do the right thing, and we felt like we had to be a part of the right side of history. And I'm very proud to say that we have been, and I'm so proud of the team there that's leading that charge today. But you're right in that I think a lot of companies are now confronting that same reckoning of what do we mean now? How do we mean more to our community? How do we right size to make sure that we're meeting this moment, and that we are on the right side of history, and that we are better serving our community and our audience, our consumers?
Well, let's talk about that, though, because you can actually give some advice to people who are working at these brands, whether they're at the top or whether they're the intern. These brands are going to now have to do some of what you've already done. I mean, when you're a pioneer, that means you've been there, done that. What do these brands need to do to get relevant and to catch up to this moment?
So there's 3 steps I would say that any individual brand or corporation can follow. First of all, you have to take inventory of where you are. You can't be a part of a solution if you don't recognize how you are part of the problem.
Oh, you better preach. Can you say that one more time? Just preach.
I think nobody wants to say they're racist. Nobody wants to I raise their hand and say, I haven't done my part here, or I recognize that I could do better. And so it's, I think, important to just acknowledge what part did you play? What part have you been playing? Take inventory. What does the complexion of your newsroom look like? Who's in your boardroom? Who has those board seats? And let's look at every level of management, all the way down to the intern level. Take an honest assessment of where we are. And I don't mean just looking at your campaigns. And so we have to push ourselves to go further. And so that's part of step 1 is taking. Step 2, take ownership, acknowledging where you need to change, where you need to do better. And then the 3rd step is take action, do better, commit to being a part of solutions that are going to move us from where we are to a better, more equitable future.
So, for example, Sephora said they're going to give 15% of their shelf space to Black-owned brands. Now, I think, to me, that's a lot. Does that strike you as too much, too little? I mean, what is that, when you talk about taking action, is that the kind of action, or what kind of action might really meet the moment?
Is there something I can do with my contacts, with my experience, with my skill set? What can I uniquely do? I hope everyone's asking themselves that question. And one of my very close friends, Aurora James, and I were having a conversation when all the protests were kicking off about what we want to see from companies, because we were starting to see all the we stand with the Black community, and Black Lives Matter was starting to come from companies that we're just like, how in the world is this by this corporation when they have 0 Black people in their executive leadership team? Something's not adding up. And so what we sat there and we thought about, what is our ask to brands? So Aurora James, who is my dear friend, and she is a Black business owner. She's a successful accessories designer. She and I spoke, and she decided that she was going to say, I want to start something. And this is what